Welcome to the Raw Deal. Today's episode is Refocus Your Focus, How to Achieve Happiness. Now, in today's episode, we're going to break down two main perspectives of how we look out on life. And we understand that perspective attributes perception. Perception, as they say, is reality. What is your reality? So I want you to think about those things. But before we do, welcome to the Raw Deal. My name is Rawlins. I am the founder and CEO of Raw Fitness Club. A little play on the name there, but what RAW stands for in our company and our organization is ready and willing. If you are ready and willing to start living the life you've always dreamt about, if you're ready and willing to start working on you, if you're ready and willing to create a business, we have your back. Here at Raw Fitness Club, we focus on three pillars. Our pillars are developing leaders, developing people to join our club and create more opportunities to help people live a happier, healthier, and fitter life. We transform lives, whether it's going to be clients and customers going through a physical transformation or even a mental mind shift. We provide a platform for you to do that. And then we build communities. We work with other organizations out there so we can combine and collaborate to help you get the support you need and create the resources for you to be there. And we also build businesses throughout the community effort. And that is Raw Fitness Club in a nutshell. And again, our episode today is Refocus Your Focus. Let me ask you this question. Are you happy? Are you happy with your life? Are you happy with where you're at? Answer. Should be really quick. If you haven't answered yes or no, then number one, if you're yes, you can go ahead and press pause, or you can forward and share this with somebody who probably needs to hear this message. If the answer is no, I'm not happy. Rawlins, I'm not happy with my current situation. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret. You are the reason why you're there. You in this current situation has been from a series of decisions and actions that you made or didn't make. In a previous episode, I talk about the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I talk about time. Time isn't something that you manage. Time is going to be is fixed. What you do in that time is a big impact to your results. So, ladies and gentlemen, if again you're sitting in this current moment going, wow, I'm really miserable. When I look in the mirror, I don't feel good about my body. When I look at what I've done, I go, I'm not where I should be. When I look at my dreams and go, it's just a dream, I'm going to tell you something. You are either in the way of your goals or going to be the secret weapon to achieving your goals. Now, let's talk about how we're going to do this. I want to boil it down into two different perspectives. We're going to play around in the realm of metaphysics and energy and all this ethereal outlook of life. And then we're going to deal with the mentality of, well, it's science. It's about science and it's about physics. All right, so we'll talk about those two things. Let's talk about metaphysics. What is metaphysics? In a nutshell, it is energy in the universe and how we are affected or affect in that space, in that universe, in that thing. Woo! Right? So that's metaphysics. The law of attraction is what the metaphysical thought or metaphysical modality, or I should say concept, is predicated on. The law of attraction, what we give is what we get. When I do a workshop, and I hope that you come to one of my workshops, when I took a workshop, I talk about having a bad day. So raise your hand out there. Have you ever had a bad day? I'm like, oh, yes, I've had a bad day. This happened to me, then this happened to me. It's something like, I was late for work and that sort of because I couldn't find my keys. And then when I was driving to my work or my appointment, then everybody and their mama kept cutting me off and was driving slower than molasses in winter and blah, blah, blah. It's just this sequence of events that continue to become worse. And so the first thing I say is, in order to change your day, you got to change your outlook. That's what the Raw Deal is about, ladies and gentlemen. The Raw Deal is about understanding your mindset and then allowing yourself to say, do I need to make a mind shift? We're so set in our ways that we don't know that we're in our way. So is what you're doing working for you or not? It's that simple, yeah? But it first, again, starts right here. So if you believe in energy and etherealness, I'm down with that. So law of attraction, what do typically people do when they have that belief system? We create vision boards. We create vision boards because if we put energy into this thing, it'll go out to the universe and it'll attract it. Let me break this down to you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about physics. I'm going to talk about physics here. All right, you have a pot of water. You put this pot of water. Now there's three stages or states, phases in physics of three states. You have the gaseous state, you have the liquid state, you have the solid state. Yeah, you didn't think that this is going to be a physics lesson, right? Well, hold on to your horsies. So you have those three. Now let's just go on the middle ground. Middle ground, I have no. I use this finger, not this middle finger. That's not that kind of raw deal. Focus. So in the middle ground, we have a pot of water. I put that pot of water in your fridge, but in the colder side of the fridge, otherwise known as the freezer. What happens to that pot of water? It freezes. Why? Let's break it down. The molecules within that water, in that liquid state, have slowed down. When they slow down, it becomes solid. So that's what you have there. Now, let's take that pot of water, let's put it on the stove, let's light up that match, let's light up that fire, let's get that electrical coil burning. All of a sudden, that water starts to boil, and then it starts to turn into gaseous state, because now the kinetic energy, those molecules are speeding up, right? All right, cool. Now, let's take that with how you respond, how you act in daily life. So, just like in the freezer or on the fire, that's what your energy usually goes in one of two ways. Are ya angry, sad, negative, frozen, slow molecules? Are ya happy and you know it, just jump around? That's where your energy is emitting to. So now when we have this state of being and we are emotional, happy, sad, in between, whatever, it picks a direction, right? So that energy is equated by vibrancy. So just like you are sad and upset, the energy is low and it's droning. Like I said, when you're happy, you're like all joyous. Yeah, you have all this energy. So what happens to that? Those like we said in the pot of water, those molecules slowing down or speeding up. So does that energy that you put out there, it turns into a frequency, like on a dial of a radio station. So it turns into that frequency, and in that frequency, you're going out to the universal stations of happy, hangry, sad, mad, joyous, whatever, and you're calling it forth towards you. So that's why I say, if you're having a bad day, you're having a bad moment. Don't proclaim your day as bad, because you just said, I want to continue turning the frequency of this low, droning vibrancy to attract other negative things or negative people. Do you have negative people in your life? Look at your social circle. Is your social circle helping you or hurting you? Maybe because you've attracted that. Now, if you want to live a happier life, then you want to look at your social circle and say, are they being helpful for me? Now, if they're really our friends and you need to take a break from toxicity, then they'll understand that. But typically not, they won't, because misery loves company. Those are hard decisions you have to make, huh? Wouldn't you be surrounded by a team of number one fans opposed to naysayers that just pick you apart and give you nothing? It's one thing to pick you apart, but then not to give you anything to stand up on? That's not cool, yeah? So that is short and long, or long and short, of what metaphysics is. It's about this energy, and what we give is what we get. Now let's go on the other side. So speaking of physics, let's go on the other side of things. Let's understand some science here. So for those of you that are black and white, I don't believe in all this energy stuff. I don't believe in vision boards. That's cool. You don't believe in the secret? Well, I'll tell you this secret here from the science base. Now, you ever buy a car and then you start seeing that car, or clothing, and then all of a sudden you see that clothing more often? So all of a sudden what you see, or what you think is important to you, you start seeing? Well, I'll tell you why. Before I do that, let's have some other examples. Are you ever like dedicated? For those of you that are parents, and your child, you're passed out because you've had a long day just toting your child around, and I had work, blah, blah, blah. You're passed out, like snoring louder than a hibernating bear, right? Now, all of a sudden, your baby cries, and you wake up out of nowhere, and you run and you address that. Well, what science tells us is this. Right here, the reticular activating system, otherwise known as the RAS, is located right back behind the head, in this cranium of yours, by the medulla oblongata. Anyway, that little piecey thing there, its purpose is it's this database. It's the database of filing everything that you have deemed as being important, such as your name is important. You're ever walking around in a public place and all of a sudden you hear your name, you're like, did someone just call me? Even though you weren't focused on that, you heard it, right? Because your brain is so amazing that it does a lot of things that you don't even know it's doing. And that's why mindset, y'all, is very important to have. If you have a negative attitude, you're going to have a negative outlook. You're just going to be miserable in life. You have a positive attitude, maybe too positive. You might be a little bit far from reality, but at least you're living a happier life, right? How do you find that balance between the freezer and the fire? How do you find that balance for you? How do you keep your eyes on the prize to get to that target of yours? It's about your mindset, ladies and gentlemen. So here, in this mental state, things that are important to me will come in, will have my body, have my mind keep focus on that. So when I'm saying refocus your focus, you might first have to start with, am I happy? If I'm not happy, then before you blame everybody else, y'all, you got to change that focus on blaming everybody else and point it right back to you. Once you are embracing that, and once you can be big enough to say, wow, I've been in my own way. And do you ever have a friend that all they do is bitch and complain? Like, oh my poor life, and you go, look at the decisions you make. Of course you have oh poor life. You wanna hide away from being successful. You don't want to put the work to be successful to your goals. You wanna find every reason why. Again, you've heard me say this, now I'll say it over and over again. Here's the raw deal. You cannot validate your unhappiness anymore and blame it on other people when you know what's wrong with you. Man, I don't understand why y'all do that. If you do it, change it. That's why nobody wants to hang around you, or maybe that's why you have negative people around you. You have negative people around you because probably you haven't honored your truth. You haven't worked on you. So if the law of attraction saying you're going to get what you give, look at your social circle. Look at your current life. Are you drowning in debt? Are you barely making ends meet? Are you living in a body that doesn't make you feel sexy, just makes you feel sad? Are you living in a dead-end job? Are you in a relationship that isn't healthy for you? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you know the reason why those things are happening and because you chose to have it happen. It's plain and simple. There's no secret to that. You, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, your current situation is from a series of decisions and actions you made or didn't make. What are you going to continue to do? Are you going to continue to be absolutely irresponsible with your life and blame everybody else and then live in this corner of your mind to say that this is what I'm supposed to? No, this is not how you're supposed to live. If you know that your purpose is bigger, folks, you got to believe that. You have to believe that. If you don't believe it, other people won't. And again, for the naysayers, I've done things where people I want to say that I've been very fortunate to be surrounded by people that support me and that get me, and as crazy as I am, still support me in that. You know why? Because they know my intentions. And I put people in my life that know me, that when I'm off, they check me, man. They check me. Sometimes it's stuff that I don't want to hear, but you know what? The ego gets in the way. Learn how to be delicate with your ego, but not put it on a pedestal that you can't even climb up to, living up to it, because you're using your ego as a defense mechanism. We'll talk about that in another episode. But right now, the focus is to refocus. You don't like how you're living? You don't like your life? Starts with you. What are you going to do about it? Stop crying. Get over it. But Rawlins, you don't understand. You understand I have this many kids, or I have this job, and I get it. But it didn't happen overnight. It happened from a long time ago in a series of decisions you made. And it didn't work out, but you continue to keep going in that direction. Refocus your focus. You don't like your life? Learn to love yourself first. That's hard. But that's why we're here at Raw Fitness Club. We're here because we get it. The whole deal about the raw deal is to give you the uncensored and unfiltered version of it. There's no magic pill. Because if there was, everybody would be on it. That's what you see on television. There's the magic pills. But you know what the quick fix is? The quick fix is this. That's the quick fix. Once you can understand that you have to make a mind shift to a new mindset, your body, your mind, your soul will recalibrate. And whether you're metaphysical and then you give that energy and you set that frequency of life to be, yes, happy, happy, joy, joy, or whether you're very intent on creating a business or getting to a goal or creating a plan, that you do not compromise yourself and you make and take the hard choices to get there. Stop making excuses of why you're not going to make the hard choices to get there. Or maybe you're a combination of both. Well, whichever it is, folks, the common denominator is this: it's you. Learn how to refocus your focus. You'll find that you'll start becoming happier. It's not going to be easy, but we're here for you. For more information, please stay tuned. Again, if you see that this is something that you already got, then share this with somebody who needs to hear this message. Follow us on Facebook Live, Raw Fitness Club. Follow me also if you want to, Rawlins at Apalato on Facebook, and all the other platforms that we have, so that way we can stay together as a community. And then if you fall off track, we'll reach out a hand and say, come here, we got you. We'll dust you off. Until next time, folks, that's the Raw Deal with Rawlins. Refocus your focus. Happiness is a choice. What do you choose to do? Talk to you soon.